it's a little bit. It's not exactly true. They offered me Paiva. I said yes. It's like, does that mean I pick my fights? I don't know. I didn't say, hey, I want to fight Paiva. So the whole I pick my fights and I'm not gonna fight someone tough until I get paid is not necessarily true.
What do you think about Paiva as a fighter? Obviously, he's not one of the most known guys in the division, but he's certainly proven dangerous. What do you think about him as an opponent?
Yeah, he's dangerous. You know, anybody in the UFC is going to be a dangerous opponent. I think Paiva's dangerous. He's very tough. We saw it in the last fight. My buddy Kyler, you know, really, he beat him up, and Paiva somehow won that fight. So, in my eyes, he's coming off a loss. Really, like I thought my buddy beat him. He's a dangerous opponent to show that much heart. You know, Kyler was hitting with some hard shots, and he stayed up. You know, I just went through a fight like that with Chris. So I think, you know, going through that last fight shows that I can, you know, I'm not going to get tired beating someone up. So if he wants to get beat up for 15 minutes, I'm down.
You win this fight, probably are ranked at that point. Does that matter to you at all? Do you care? Because maybe it does give you access to those bigger names, or do you care?
You know, if I get ranked 15, 14, whatever after this fight, you know, I already called out Adrian Yanez, and he's not ranked, and I have no issue fighting an unranked guy if I'm ranked. I'm not worried about it. I think, you know, a good win over Paiva. I'm not overlooking Paiva. I have to go out there Saturday night and perform the way I'd perform, and I have to put his lights out. It can't be a boring fight. If it's a boring fight, you know, I don't really have any say in what's next. I go out there, put Paiva's lights out. I can call out, you know, Yanez or whoever I want. But, Paiva's a tough opponent.
Last thing for me, I know you said, hey, win or lose, I know you're going to want to, you know, love me, hate me. You're going to want to tune in and watch me fight, you know. Does it bother you that you have haters? I mean, you've come in and entertained from the start, you know. Do you wish you were universally loved, or do you kind of enjoy having some haters? I
don't necessarily enjoy having haters, but I get sad that I have haters. It really means they're going to watch the fight 100%. Someone's not going to be watching the fights, then I come on the TV, they're like, nope, I'm not going to watch. Like, that's not going to happen. They're going to watch. They're going to make sure they watch. They're going to call off work so they can watch. So I'm not really worried about the haters.
Sean, I saw earlier this year you met Conor McGregor. I know that was a meeting you'd long been looking forward to. I was curious, what did you guys talk about, and did he give you any advice?
It was a very short conversation. It was a very loud stadium. I think he had a couple shots of proper 12, so his accent was extra thick. It was really cool meeting him. You know, what was said was, he said, you know, he thought it was a cool performance, my last fight. But the conversation, it wasn't much. It was loud. It was hard. You couldn't even if I posted that video with sound, you wouldn't have been able to hear what we were talking about. But it was a cool experience.
Sean, right here. Speaking of Paiva, of his 21 wins, 14 have gone to a decision. So outside of his toughness, what exactly stands out of him in terms of his skill set?
I didn't even know he had that many fights or that many. I've literally never watched him fight until the last fight. Kyler fought him. I didn't even rewatch that. I just go in there and I know what I'm capable of, and I believe in my skills. And you know, I know he's an orthodox fighter. I think he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's been in the UFC. He's got a couple fights in the UFC. I really don't know much else about him other than I'm way faster than him. And I think that's what's going to play out in this fight. And that's what you're going to see.
And you've obviously called out Dominic Cruz and Cody Garbrandt. They're both on this card. Have you run into them at all this fight week?
I haven't. I think, I haven't. I think they're both smart. They're both... You know, that's not like we don't like each other. We're not going to fight each other at the hotel. It's not like that. It's you know, I think we'll fight someday, both of them, maybe. We'll see. But it'll make for an interesting fight week if we do run into each other. I don't know. You know, it's not like I have ill will against them. They might. I've talked a lot of shit. But Cody went down to 25. It's like at this point, you can't talk shit to someone that goes down a weight because they don't want to fight me. So
we spoke to Dominic Cruz earlier today, and he said he truly does not care that you are above him on the card. In fact, he gets paid the same, and he gets an earlier night. And if he did care, that would be just ego. So in your mind, does it matter where you fight on this card? Does it matter that you're above Dominic Cruz on this card?
For my ego, it's fun. It's funny. It's hilarious. He's a former world champion. He's not even on the main card. So of course he's gonna say it doesn't bother him. What is he gonna come up here and cry about it? And then he looks like a baby. But to be honest, I wouldn't really care if I was on the prelims either. Fighting earlier sounds good to me. I don't get paid anymore. I'm not trying to sell this fight. I don't get pay-per-view points. You know, it is cool opening up such a massive card. You know, opening up a card at 7 p.m. Like, I know what time I'm fighting. That is nice, and I think that's, if anything, that's probably the biggest thing is knowing what time I'm gonna fight. So, you know, I do believe him a little bit when he says it doesn't bother him, but come on. It's gotta bother him a little bit. Him and Pedro are both ranked in top 10. They're on they're not even the main event of the prelims. Like, it's gotta sting a little bit.
Sean, in the middle right here. In the middle,
Whoa.
Sean. Unranked champ, but also the sleep champ, right? So what
That's
mattress
true.
What mattress are you rocking with, man? You got one of those memory foams, or what are we
No,
doing?
I just got a little. I don't even know if I should say it. No one's paying me to. I got a good little mattress. I've talked to some mattress people, and they're like, I don't know. So we'll skip out on what mattress, but I'm sleeping good.
Fair enough, man. Just as for the bantamweight division, obviously phenomenal right now, arguably the best in the world. Do you feel like the depth of the division maybe will make it harder for you to climb up the ladder, or do you think personality and performance will kind of triumph just how many bodies are in the division right now?
Yeah, I also agree. The bantamweight division is probably the number one in the UFC right now, which is really cool to say and really cool to be a part of. Yeah, the top 15 is pretty crazy. The top 10. I think, you know, just go out there and keep doing what I do and putting up performances, and I'll get to that belt.
And we mentioned Cody earlier. Just curious, you know, what your thoughts are on his fight, how he'll do dropping down, you know, since you guys have gone back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I still think that's a possibility to fight at 35. He's obviously capable of performing at 35. He beat, you know, dominant. He's beat a lot of guys. We'll see. If he goes out there and performs really well at 125,